Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun video, we are going to be documenting my very first Amtrak train journey. Really cool. Now you guys know I love trains, Hot Wheels, transportation of that nature, but I have never actually physically got on the Amtrak train and took a journey for a day trip and then come back on the same day. It was something I really wanted to do, and I told a good friend of mine about it, and he said, let's go. So me and my buddy hopped on at the Burlington train station, and we took a 1-hour train trip to the train station in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we chose a short train travel for our very first experience doing this thing to kind of get some research for how everything went and how smoothly everything operated, so we could maybe go on a longer journey once warmer weather hits to maybe farther destinations. We chose Raleigh, North Carolina because it drops you off in the heart of downtown with activities to do, museums to visit, places to eat. That way we had time to spend the time that we had, which was like 4.5, 5 hours before we had to make our way back to the train station to come back home to Burlington. As soon as we got off the train, we made a beeline, which is about a half-mile walk, to the North Carolina Natural Science Museum and the History Museums, which are free to the public. We went on a Wednesday, and there was several school groups, so we were mindful of that and tried to stay ahead of all the school groups, and also mindful of our time to get back on the train. That is what this video is all about, documenting it. I had an amazing experience, and I documented it on film with this camera. This is my original camera that I filmed all my original videos on. I took this camera instead of the camera I'm filming with the flip-out screen. It is the nature of people. If they see a camera and they see you trying to do something, they might want to jump in front of it. And this camera is a little bit more discreet and looks like I'm filming on a cell phone or something, and people are in a way a little bit more respectful for that. They think I'm trying to take a picture or something. So this is what I film with, so keep in mind if there's some audio issues on it. This is the first time I've used this camera to film a video in a long time, and I've done my best to equalize all of the volume in the video. But with all that being said, let me segue into the train journey, and we will arrive at the Burlington train station. Let's go. And our journey begins at the Company Shops train station in Burlington, North Carolina, about a mile from home. Our train leaves at 8:45. We're here a little bit early, but just going to go inside and wait for the train. Now, we entered through those double doors, and upon entering the lobby, you have representations of both new railroading and old school railroading, and in the center there is a diorama, I think this is Z-scale, of the historic company shops, and we are in this building here, which is the actual station now. But really cool. We've already got our tickets, and if anyone was curious about the schedule for the trains coming out of Burlington and going through Burlington, here we have it. You can pause this if need be, but we are just waiting for our train. The train loading platform is right through there. Just waiting for the train to get here. And right on time, the Carolinian came right into the station, gliding in smoothly, and we waited for it to stop to board the train. And this is the long route that Amtrak offers all the way up the coast and back. We did not take this train back, but this is the train we rode all the way to Raleigh. And we done a short hour trip to Raleigh to just judge if we want to do a longer trip another time. But after boarding, we got coffee from the cafeteria car and proceeded to find our seats. And we really had our pick here. The train was not crowded at all. But after selecting some seats we liked, we settled in, and the train began its journey. And it quickly gathered speed. You can see it going through my neighborhood here. The gentle sway of the train put me in a very peaceful mood, and I can see how people can get relaxed and nod off on the train, but I was just so excited, and watching the scenery go by, seeing sights I've seen for years from a different angle from the tracks. But the train stopped at 2 places going to Raleigh. It stopped in both Cary and Durham to drop off and pick up passengers, and it done the same route on the way back to Burlington at the end of our day. But I just settled in with my coffee and watched the beautiful scenery and scenic scenery go by after we got out of town. And it took around an hour to get to Raleigh, and we took this short trip just to again see if we want to take a longer one later on down the road. But after arriving in Raleigh, we disembarked and proceeded to the beautiful Raleigh train station. And after a brisk half-mile walk, we arrived at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences, and also history was across the street. And these museums are free to attend, and there was several school groups here this day, so we were mindful of the youth that were there. We went in the Natural Science Museum first and started exploring it. Very nicely, beautifully displayed exhibits, and we were mindful of our time for our return train trip. But while we were there, we did enjoy the museum. And we just quickly browsed a lot of these exhibits. Each exhibit has detailed stories behind them and place cards to read and some hands-on activities. But again, being mindful of our return trip, we just kind of breezed through, just stopping to see what really interests us. And of course, the nautical and maritime section was of interest to both of us. But keep in mind, this museum spans several floors. Here was an exhibit I really loved. It shows the natural hardwoods that grow in North Carolina, as well as some of the stones and natural elements that are found in North Carolina. And I thought this was really cool and fascinating. But again, this place is well worth a visit. And after an hour or so, it was time for us to hunt down lunch. So we proceeded to do that. And lunch is served. You can see there I got the spicy fried chicken sandwich, and that is a big sandwich. Good portions, around $12 to eat here, with some side order of fries and ice water that we're going to eat up and continue on. Lunch was delicious. Now back to the rest of the museum. We've got till around 2 to explore it. So we got a good 2 hours to look around before heading back to get our train home. They have some amazing dinosaur exhibits here, as well as some up-close look at the bones. But we are continuing on. They have a fake aquarium tunnel right after the dinosaurs, and the glass is plastic. There's no water in here whatsoever, but still a really cool visual. Now this is amazing to me. Have the pterodactyls up there. Beautiful views of Raleigh. Very cool natural light, and a very beautifully detailed brontosaurus here, life size. Really amazing. All right, we just left the Natural Science Museum. Right across the way, also free to the public, is the North Carolina Museum of History. Gonna see what it's all about. And upon entering the History Museum, I know I'm in the right place when Blackbeard the Pirate greets me. Really cool. And above him is a full-size replica of the Wright Flyer by the Wright brothers. Really neat and very informative. Gonna hang out here until it is time to head back to the train station and head back home. And they have the man himself, Dale Earnhardt's iconic black number 3 here front and center in the museum. One of my all-time favorite drivers, and undoubtedly the best NASCAR driver. I was watching the day he had the wreck. Miss him dearly. Would have liked to have had the chance to have met him. And the Frontier section has, of course, something that I'm very interested in. Pirates. They have pirate cutlasses here, a broadside cannon, a replica of the ships they would use. Blackbeard's iconic flag. Really, really amazing nautical and maritime history here. Did not expect this here today. Continuing on. Here we have a representation, steam-powered, of what colonial craftsmen would have done to make their beautiful heirloom quality furniture. Old school working right here. And you guys know I love miniatures and dioramas. Here we have a scale model of an old school camp meeting. You see the pastor there. Really, really neat. Great detail. It is really worth your time to come up here and go through everything and just look and take your time and read all of the info. Gain a lot of knowledge. And entering in here, this is a slice of Americana that you just do not see no more. The style, the class, the elegance, the soda shop fountains. Really, really, really neat. They have some of the iconic ointments and everything there. Herbal remedies, things like that. Really, really beautifully maintained and displayed. Just exited the museum and it has turned out to be a beautiful day. It was very cold this morning. Now keep in mind you have two massive museums to explore while up here. Again, we are on the train, so we will be taking the train back to Burlington like we come up here on this morning. So we had limited time, so we just done a quick run through of both of them, but it would be well worth it to come up here like right when they open and really take everything in and really get some great photos and content and all. But all in all, a great day. We now have about a half-mile walk back to the train station. Like I said, if you decide to come up here and take the train like we did, just bring your walking shoes and you'll be good. And after a brisk half-mile walk back through downtown Raleigh to the train station, we arrived with about 15 minutes to spare to relax and catch our breath before boarding our train for our return trip back to Burlington. And after boarding the train back at the Raleigh train station, we proceeded to head back down the line to Burlington, once again stopping in Durham and Cary to drop off and pick up passengers. But this was an amazing journey for me, my very first time riding Amtrak, and I cannot recommend them enough. My experience was amazing here, and I hope you guys like this video, and I can see a longer train ride to more destinations in the future. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, and also follow me over on Instagram at Artisan Pirate. Links to all my social medias will be down in the description box below this video. Thank you all for watching, and remember, if I can make it or do it, so can you.